Yahweh Ba Shem Yahweh Shai Braga Thumb to the brothers. Shalom Yahweh Shemar Allah Thun Ba Shem Yahweh Shai to the sisters. But the ISUPK started out at 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commanding General Yohana. And since 1969, we've been teaching so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, the 2 out of 12 lost tribes of the nation of Israel. You understand? Preaching Officer Shabal holding down the class tonight. You understand? This is the Las Vegas scripture breakdown class. If there aren't any questions or not a whole lot of questions, we're gonna go ahead and finish last week's topic, which is this job is not for the weak. You understand? We was reading out of 1 Timothy, the 3rd chapter, last week. Water. We'll it's a little bit, please. And then we'll pick up from there. You know what I'm saying? But first, before we get into before I get into a topic, pre-topic, or anything, before I even get into any questions, if y'all brothers and sisters, could like and share the classes, Barbara Kashaw. You know, I'm as long as I'm holding these classes down, I'm going to continue to say or ask you, brothers and sisters, to not just share the classes that are being taught out of Las Vegas, because this ain't the only city where classes are being held down. That's right. You get my point? You got classes in South Carolina, North Carolina, you understand me? Philly, DC, Detroit. You know what I mean? You got classes being held down all over the 4 corners of the earth. You understand? And just because you have the truth, you know what I mean? You shouldn't keep the truth to yourself. You get my point? The truth is for every so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native American. You get my point? And so with that, I just want to take a couple minutes real quick. You know, these last few days, starting with Saturday, man, you know, I've received some of the most humbling texts and comments that a brother could ever receive. And it's like some of the most humbling shit ever, man, to get more love from brothers and sisters that you never met a day in your life than people in your own family. And I am beyond humbled and honored to be able to sit in this seat before you, brothers and sisters, to hold these classes down and go to camp and all these things. Most importantly, be a servant of the Most High. You know what I mean? And I would take up the whole class if I ran down the names of all the brothers that has been instrumental in helping me make it to the place that I am today, man. But I just want to say the water to all the men above me. When brothers know who I am, I don't even want to start throwing names out there because I don't want to miss nobody. I don't want to go out of rank or nothing like that. But there's been a lot of brothers in this school, man, that have helped me get to the place that I am today. And Barakatah Yahweh Shah for this brotherhood, man. Because without this brotherhood, would none of us be here today. You get what I'm saying? Without this sisterhood, man, there's a lot of sisters that will still be on stripper poles or be in the abortion clinic or be strung out on meth some goddamn where. You know what I mean? So you want to know why we defend this truth the way we do? Because of the life experiences that we gained from being in this truth. You know what I mean? The men and women that I'm sitting in this class with, I did not know without this truth. And if it wasn't for this truth, I wouldn't know these brothers. If it wasn't for this truth, we'd probably be shooting at each other or tripping on each other over some goddamn colors or what city you out of. Right. Or why you wearing that rag like that for, whatever the case may be. You get my point? It's because of this truth that we was able to kill the old man and kill the old woman and become the men and women that we are today. And that's all because of the Most High in Christ and Commanding General Yohana not dropping his sword. You understand? And so because Commanding General Yohana and General Muhammad and General Mayat, you understand, didn't drop their swords, who the hell are you to drop your sword? That's right. You know what I mean? And so I just wanted to take this opportunity, man, to say the water to all of the kind comments and remarks that brothers and sisters were leaving on these posts over the last few days. And I just want to say the water to the men above me, man, for being those big brothers, for being the uncles and cousins and big brothers that I never had in the world, them so-called homies that I thought I had in the world. You brothers showed me that them niggas ain't shit. You brothers showed me what it is to have real friends. You get my point? Somebody put a scripture where Christ said that you are my friends if you do the will of the Father. I'm paraphrasing, but somebody get that from whoever got it. Just read it as soon as you got it, man. You know what I'm saying? I cannot stress enough how important this truth is to me and how I know without a shadow of a doubt that if I wasn't in this truth, I'd be in jail or probably dead. Because I've had some instances where when I was in the world where I just knew my life was going to be over. You know what I mean? Just based on the decision that I was making. Certain situations that I put myself in, certain things that I did where the police pulled up and I'm like, damn, I'm done for type thing. You know what I mean? And for some reason, the Most High saw something in me that I didn't see in myself, and he pulled me out of that situation. He got me out of that situation. You understand? So I owe the Most High my life. I owe Christ my everything. You understand? When Hebrews 9:15 said that Christ is the mediator of the Old Testament for those who are for the New Testament, for those who are under the Old Testament, we're those brothers. It's not talking about the so-called white man. It's not talking about that goddamn Arab. You understand me? Not talking about that Chinese man. It ain't talking about them. You understand? It's talking about you, so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. You understand? Anybody got that? Read it, please.
This is the book of John, chapter 15, and verse 14. Ye are my friends, if ye do whatsoever I command you.
Read it again.
But ye are my friends, if ye do whatsoever I command you.
Who's talking here?
Yahweh, sir.
This is our King, Christ, talking here, right? Yahweh Mashiach in the Hebrew, you understand, though the world knows as Jesus Christ. You get my point? That's what he said, though. You get what I'm saying? So I can call Bakar my friend. Right. You know what I'm saying? I can call Captain Azania out there in Syracuse my friend. You know what I mean? How do I know? Because these brothers do the will of the Father.
That's right.
You get what I'm saying? I've called these brothers at all hours of the night and been able to talk to these brothers in on whatever. You know what I'm saying? Brothers ain't never said that they was too busy for me. Right. You know what I'm saying? Brothers ain't never, you know what I'm saying, made me feel like I wasn't their brother. You get my point? And that's the thing about this school, man. You know what I mean? This school is a safe haven for blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. You know what I mean? Instead of constantly trying to come up against us and fight us, how about you sit back and pay attention to the shit that we saying? Right. And think about your life and think about how you're living your life currently, and you look at how we live in our lives. You ask me which one is better for you. Right. Now, if you're an evil, wicked bastard and you love living in lust and you love living in sin, then I would understand why you wouldn't want to come in here. Right. But if you're a brother or sister in the world who's sick and tired of being sick and tired, this is the place you need to be. That's Get my point? Read it again, please.
This is the book of John, chapter 15, and verse 14. Ye are my friends, if ye do whatsoever I command you.
Ye are my friends if you do whatsoever I command you. Meaning what? Not just some of the things. Which should tell you what? What should that tell you about your Christian pastor? Bakar.
Be not a friend of Christ.
That's for sure. Yeah, that's true. But why? Based on what? Read the scripture again.
Ye are my friends if ye do whatsoever I command you.
Now, I'm gonna ask the question again. How do you know that your Christian pastors is full of it? You gave some good answers, Bakar. You right. I'm looking for something specifically. Shalom.
Because they don't do what Christ commanded them. They only follow the New Testament. Most of them. You know what I'm saying? But they think the laws are done away with. They teach the laws.
That's it right there. They don't follow the New Testament.
Right.
So that you was off on that. But you was right when you said, you know what I'm saying, that they believe that the laws are done away with. Somebody put a scripture where Christ said that the laws are done away with. I'll wait. Somebody put me the scripture where Paul or Peter or one of them said that the laws are done away with. Again, I'll wait. We'll be here all night. We'll be here till next Thursday's class, waiting on somebody to pull that scripture where it said that you no longer have to keep the law. Right. So that's how you know. That's an example which goes into the topic, goes back into the topic. You get my point? That your Christian pastor cannot be a bishop or a deacon.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? Rock, you want to add something? Okay, did you want to add something to that though? Okay, keep reading.
Verse 15.
Henceforth I call you not servants, for the servant knoweth not what his Lord doeth. But I have called you friends.
I've called you what?
But I have called you friends.
I've called you what?
But I have called you friends. For all things that I have heard of my Father, I have made known unto you.
You get what I'm saying? Meaning what? The Most Christ taught brothers and sisters the truth according to the Bible. He didn't go out there speaking smooth words. He didn't go out there speaking kind words. He gave brothers and sisters the truth.
That's right.
You get what I'm saying? Which is what we need. You think about it. We in 2021. You understand? And you got a lot of brothers and sisters that still lacking the truth. And what's so shameful about that? You've heard me say it before. What's so shameful about it is it's 2021. and we got classes all over the place, all over YouTube. You understand? All on Facebook. You know what I mean? Got our classes all over the place. You know what I mean? This knowledge is all over the place. You get my point? Give me 1 second. Okay, this is it right here. Also, there was something else that I wanted to speak on as well. I had written this story down a couple weeks ago, right? But I don't think I actually went into it. Remember I was talking about the deaf sister out here in Vegas. I wanna get into that tonight as well, right? General Q sent that to me, and I don't think I ever had a chance to actually get into it, but I wanna speak on that. You know what I'm saying? Because again, there's a lot of people that want to know why it is that we sound like we hate and hate and hate. Why is it that all we teach is hate? Or why does it come off that all we teach is hate? And all we talk about is the so-called white man or the so-called Arab. Well, it's stories like this I'm reading a little bit as to why it is that we speak against these other nations. You get what I'm saying? You guys gotta think about this, right? Like Captain Tazariak said, I don't know who all caught the class earlier, right? But what Captain Tazariak said was ridiculously heavy. And what he said was this, right? Think about this for a second. They came out with a Stop Asian Hate crime bill or whatever it's called, and there is no dead Asians. Right. Someone might have got beat up. Not saying that that's cool or nothing like that, but the point I'm trying to make is they better got stuff thrown at them, might have got spit on, and things like that. You get my point? But none of them lynched, to my knowledge. Has anybody seen any news articles, anything on CNN or anything about finding dead Asians hung from a tree? No, I don't think so. Yet there was a Stop Asian Hate bill passed within what, weeks of all this so-called rise in Asian hate crime? You see what's happening to the so-called Jew, all this violence against the so-called Jew. And what's the new wave? Pray for the Israelis. Pray for the Palestinians. All these different things. And you know who's leading that march? Anybody want to take a wild guess who's leading that march? Pray for the Palestinians. Pray for the Israelis. All right. Exactly. The so-called Black, Hispanics, and Native Americans. Bakar, you want to add something?
Yeah, I was going to say a lot. Not just.
Hey, Lauren Christ, what's going on with you, man? Go ahead.
Not just on the masses of us. It's also like our celebrities. You know right. I feel like they more vocal or, give a little more input on that than what's going on in our community. Right. The only time they talk about what's going on in our community is if it's a murder that gets a little publicity or something like that, and they'll speak on it. Right. As far as everyday things that happen to Black people, you know what I'm saying, on a daily. If it's not something that make national news, they not vocal on it. But you see what this stuff is going on across the seas, you know what I'm saying? Our leaders, so-called leaders, they real vocal on it and trying to get the masses to get behind it too. No, that's an excellent point that you brought up. What's so crazy about it is there was a New York Knicks fan who got banned for spitting on Trae Young. Yeah, right? And there's another fan that got banned for throwing popcorn at Russell Westbrook while he's injured, right? These are two Black men, right? They got banned. Okay, yeah, that's cool, right? But imagine if that was Luka Doncic or Kristaps Porzingis. Imagine had that happen to them. Everybody would be talking about it. Oh, it's just Trae Young. Oh, it's just Russell Westbrook. They hate Russell Westbrook anyway because of all that history that he's pulling out about Oklahoma. Yeah. So they hate him anyway. They looking for any reason to throw some dirt on that brother. What he do? Somebody elaborate on that. What he doing about Oklahoma? He's doing a documentary, either a documentary or a movie pertaining to Tulsa, Oklahoma. Or Tulsa, Oklahoma, if I'm not mistaken. Russell Westbrook. Look it up. Is him and a couple other players are, doing some research, doing some digging, and it's either going to be a documentary or a movie. I can't remember, but the bottom line is Russell Westbrook is very heavily involved in it, and I want to say LeBron James is in on it as well. You get my point? And so just on the strength of that, they're going to hate that nigga even more. Why? How dare this nigga throw what we did in our faces? How dare that nigga bring those things to light? You know how long ago that was? How dare this nigga? Who the hell do you think he is? You get my point? So I brought those up and use those as examples because where is the Stop Black hate at? You get what I'm saying? Right. And those are minor offenses.
right? Why wasn't there, not saying that it would change anything, because we know it wouldn't, right? But where would the stop black hate after we saw George Floyd get murdered on TV? What would the stop black hate when we seen Breonna Taylor get gunned down? They kicked that sister's door down, you understand, with that no-knock warrant bullshit and killed that woman. No, they didn't kill her, they murdered her. Salaki. What about Atiana Jefferson? They murdered her.
Right.
You get my point? I rock.
Salaki, so I got it up. So Russell Westbrook's documentary is the Tulsa burning, the 1921 race massacre is the title.
You get what I'm saying? You think the so-called white men want to hear about that? And that's why you really don't hear it getting talked about like that. You get what I'm saying? But you do hear his triple doubles get talked about all the time. You get what I'm saying? And I'm not saying they shouldn't, because he's a remarkable athlete. The things that he's doing is amazing. You know what I'm saying? Still for all his years in the league, he's still not a very good shooter, but he's an overall really good basketball player. You get my point? And I'm not going to take that from him. But what I'm more impressed about is not his jumping ability, for him to be in his early 30s and still be able to jump like that with all them knee injuries. That's impressive as hell. I cannot take that from him. But what's more impressive than that is him having the nuts to stand up and make a documentary reminding our people and showing the so-called white man his crimes. Because if it wasn't for us, first of all, you know what I mean? Because you're not going to convince me that these brothers are not watching our tapes.
Right.
They're not going to come out and say it. You get my point? They being influenced somehow. You know what I'm saying? That somehow is us.
That's right.
You get my point? Because we got a school in Oklahoma. Now he plays for the Wizards. So there's a school in D.C. for sure. You get my point? There's a school in Virginia. There's a school in Maryland. You get my point? So this truth is being spread all throughout the earth. So you're not going to tell me that these athletes ain't hip to what's going on.
Right.
You get my point? So when you combine that with just the atrocities that's been done to our people, damn, at some point, man, somebody got to say, man, enough is enough, man. We got to start calling these cats out for the crimes that they're committing against us.
That's right.
You see what I'm saying? Because you know what I'm saying? We say this all the time. Because the first thing some coon ass nigga or some devil want to say is, why are you bringing up the past? My first response is, why you bring up 9/11?
Right.
Or because we know what's coming up, why are you bringing up Memorial Day? Right? Hit him upside the head with that shit. You know what I'm saying? Then the other thing is, okay, well, you don't want me to bring up the past? Okay, how about what's going on now? How about that?
Right.
Since you don't like the past, okay, let's talk about what's going on right now. Would that be better? Bakar.
I was gonna say, they remember July 4th too. That's like way, you know what I'm saying? If you're talking about revolution, what is it, Independence Day?
Yeah.
From the so-called English or
right.
whatever, you know what I'm saying? Supposedly, rolling over, America.
Yeah.
George Washington and whatever.
You see what I'm saying? They don't ever forget about that. And that happened in what was that, 1776? So you talking about what, good 300-400 years? Shout them out.
And just to add to that, now you unpatriotic, and there's something wrong with you. You don't want to celebrate the 4th of July.
You get what I'm saying?
Like,
yeah.
you're looking at you sideways for not appreciating the day that they came out of what they consider their so-called captivity.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, you don't want to celebrate July 4th. You don't want to pop fireworks and honor when we came out of the English, not even understanding that niggas was slaves.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, we was lower. They thought that was low. We was literally like less than low. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
We was on goddamn our face on the ground. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's
and that's what makes us celebrating the 4th of July so goddamn wicked. And I'm not gonna go too deep into that because that's still another month or so away, and I'm sure, you know what I'm saying, whoever be holding down the class around that time is gonna break it down very eloquent. You know what I mean? And if not, I know General Muhammad he gonna get it in. You already know. So you get what I'm saying? So we don't need to go into that, but y'all get the point that I'm trying to make though, right? Bakar, you want to add something else?
No, I was just gonna reiterate the fact that we changed. That's it.
And that's the thing. And that's what's so sickening about us celebrating that holiday, or that so-called holiday. What we got to understand as so-called Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans is these holidays weren't made for us. They all go into the destruction of us when you peel back the layers. You get what I'm saying? When you look at Memorial Day, it don't have nothing to do with the soldiers that we produce that went out there and gave their life. It ain't about them. You know what I'm saying? It's about John Johnson. It's about Timmy Frederickson or whatever the case is. It's about all them. You know what I'm saying? It ain't about a Rayshard Brooks. You get my point? It's not about you know what I'm saying? Mike Jones, for example. You get my point? It ain't about the brothers. You know what I'm saying? It ain't about Chelino Sanchez. It ain't about them.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's about all the so-called white men and women that died in that war. If there were any women, y'all get my point though. You know what I'm saying, Bakar?
No, I was gonna say Salaki, not too long. That I believe last time I seen a breakdown on it, it started from black people dying and not getting a proper burial or something.
Right. Oh man.
So I don't want to Salaki. I mean, today I guess
it's
coming up, so
it
would have been nice to have that information today. But yeah, I believe it stemmed from. I forget, it was a small town, I believe, and the soldiers didn't get buried or something like that. So we had initially like a Memorial Day, and then I believe our oppressor, you know what I'm saying, took it and changed it into something for America or whatnot.
Kamsaka War brought that out a couple years ago when he had held down Black Watch one Monday, and he had brought that out, and they buried them brothers in a very disrespectful and dishonorable way. You know what I mean? Somewhere in the land, somewhere, no headstones, no nothing. Just I don't even believe they put them in
separate.
What is this called? Coffins, right? I don't even think they put. If I remember right, I believe they were just thrown in the holes, and just dirt was just thrown on them. If I remember right, you know what I mean? I don't have my notes in front of me because I remember writing that down, man. So what you bringing out is heavy as hell, which again goes to show you that Memorial Day has nothing to do with you. Right. Has nothing to do with the so-called Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans that fought in those wars. You get my point? And so the thing about it is, man, listen, we gotta stop loving these oppressors, man. We gotta stop loving our enemies. You understand, Bakar?
Salaki, do you want me to read the little caption on the article about what it's about?
Shoot it.
If you don't mind.
Shoot it.
It says, this is from Time Magazine, time.com. It says, according to Blight's 2001 book, Race and Reunion, the Civil War in American Memory, a commemoration organized by freed slaves and some white missionaries, took place on May 1st, 1865, in Charleston, South Carolina, at a former planters' racetrack where Confederates held captured Union soldiers during the last year of the war. At least 257 prisoners died, many of disease, and were buried in unmarked graves. So black residents of Charleston decided to give them a proper burial. In the approximately 10 days leading up to the event, roughly 24 African-American Charlestonians reorganized the graves into rows and built 10-foot tall white fence around them. An archway overhead spelled out "Martyrs of the Race Course" in black letters. About 10,000 people, mostly black residents, participated in the May 1st tribute, according to coverage back then, the Charleston Daily Courier and the New York Tribune. Starting at 9 a.m., about 3,000 black school children paraded around the racetrack holding roses and singing the Union song, John Brown's Body, and were followed by adults representing aid societies for freed black men and women. Black pastors delivered sermons and led attendees in prayer and in the signing of spirituals, singing, spirituals. And there were picnics. And Salaki, I mean, we can keep reading, but it goes into like a deep, let me get to the point where it says it was, okay, and it says, I'm gonna skip down, it says, this tribute gave birth to an American tradition, Blight wrote in Race and Reunion. The war was over and Memorial Day had began, founded by African Americans in a ritual of remembrance and consecration.
You get what I'm saying? So once again, the so-called white man doing so-called white man things. That's what I call it. Right. When he do stuff like that. You know what I mean? That's him doing what he do. And none of us should be surprised by it. The sisters say, and they hear information about the Red Tails and Tuskegee Airmen, just to name a few. You get my point? Will you hear them on Memorial Day? Will you hear any of that be talked about? Will you hear the real history of where Memorial Day started from? You're not going to hear about that. You know what I mean? But what you will see across your TV is some big-ass flag, you understand me, that takes up the whole damn TV screen. What you going to see is, you know what I'm saying, big big pickup trucks up and down Las Vegas Boulevard, you understand, with big ass flags flying from them, with the other flag with the snake that say "Don't tread on me." You understand? You're gonna see all these things. You get my point? But what you won't see is, remember those fallen black soldiers. You won't see that. You get what I'm saying? And so with that being the case, man, let me get Romans 13:11. With that being the case, man, listen, we gotta stop being so goddamn simple, man. You get what I'm saying? Because the thing about it is, listen, if you're looking for an excuse to barbecue, we niggas. What excuse do we need to barbecue?
Right.
You get my point? Knowing that you ain't got to get up early and punch that time clock on Monday means, nigga, it's on and cracking all day Sunday. Nigga, get the beers. You understand? Get the strong, nigga, get the smoker. You understand me? Get the burgers, the links, all lawful meats, of course, and the other meats. You understand? And gather together. You understand? And handle your business. You get my point? We don't need no date, no goddamn calendar to tell us that it's time to get down, man. We niggas. Think about how we do baby showers. Since I'm sure you've been to a few of them, right? Now it's supposed to be a baby shower, right? How do functions end up going down?
Sometimes there's drinking, there's games and food and all of that, and party.
To the point where you forget what the hell you was there for.
Right. I'm having babies.
You understand? It ain't even, baby, who the fuck pregnant? You'll forget. You didn't got so goddamn faded. You stumbling all over balloons and diaper bags and shit. What the hell is all this? Because you came for the function. Why? Because that's what we do.
Right.
Nigga, we turn baby showers into full-fledged functions.
Right.
You think we need Memorial Day to goddamn party? Nigga, it's Saturday. Nigga, we off. You get what I'm saying? That's us, man.
Right.
You get my point? Who got that?
Okay. The book of Romans, chapter 13, verse 11.
Shoot it.
And that, knowing the time, that now it is high time to awake out of sleep.
Out of what?
Out of sleep.
Out of what?
Out of sleep.
Uh-huh.
For now is our salvation nearer than when we believe.
Why is that scripture so heavy? All right. Break it down from the top, though.
Because like today, we know that we are in that time of the end. Because, we're in the middle of the prophecy of rumors of wars and stuff like that. Like we see the signs of the end time.
Start from the top, though. Start from the top. Read the first part again.
And that, knowing the time, that now it is high time to awake out of sleep.
That we do what?
That we awake out of sleep.
That we do what?
We awake out of sleep.
Break that part down.
Okay, kind of what I was saying. So yeah, that we just need to wake up out of, basically being in the world.
Now when it says we sleep, does it literally mean that we in the bed right now, that we up under the covers?
We lullaby by Christianity and Islam and everything.
Exactly. Keep going.
Okay.
No, in your breakdown.
Okay. And so, because of us being in the end times, we got to come out of the world, out of that Christianity, and come back to the law, statutes, commandments, and wake up, because our salvation is nearer than what we actually realize.
Exactly. You get my point? That's how you break that down. Because some dumbass will read that and say, I'm awake right now. What you mean? I'm listening to the class. How am I going to be asleep if I'm listening to the class?
Right.
And that right there is the proof that the nigga sleep. You get my point? If you listen to this class, and when you get done listening to this class, you twist up a blunt, nigga, you sleep.
Right.
You get my point? If you listen to this class and you finna go on the strip, that's not you being asleep. You taking one of them cards with the numbers to the prostitutes on there and actually calling that number, that shows that you still asleep. You get my point? You thinking that joining hand in hand with the so-called white man is you still being asleep.
Right.
You sitting there joining hands with the so-called Asians is you still being asleep. And if I could go back on that so-called Stop Asian Hate thing real quick. Okay, why? Okay, how can I say this without giving it away? Why should us, as so-called Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, be so offended by the so-called Stop Asian Hate movement? Iraq.
Because we've been slaughtered for the last 400 years, and we still being slaughtered today. And we haven't got nothing. They take care of the homosexuals and the Asians. They passed a bill within a week or two just from what was that, an assault that happened a month ago? But yeah, we still being hung on trees, and it's not Black Lives Matter, it's all lives matter.
Yes, but not what I'm. That's true, but not what I'm looking for. Does this say if this day was so great, why did they murder black soldiers while they wore their uniforms? That's an excellent point that the sister brought up. Nah, John, I didn't hear nothing about that. He said that there was a bill being passed about calling the police and black folks, they can get in trouble and sue for calling the police. Yeah, you had to give me a little bit more because I'm not familiar with that, John Jones. If you got a little bit more on it, you know what I'm saying, go ahead and break that down. You're right, all right. What you said is right, but it's not what I'm looking for. Why should we be offended as so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans by that Stop Asian Hate bill? Shout them out.
Because Asians show us hate just as much as the white man shows us.
That's very true. That's
next stores that are just hurry up and buy.
Yes, that's
you know what I'm saying?
yeah. You're right. That's also not what I'm looking for.
Okay.
You're right though. Both of y'all are right. It's not what I'm looking for though. I'm gonna ask the question again. Why, as so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, should we be so offended by the so-called Stop Asian Hate crime bill? Bakar.
Because they haven't passed a bill for blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians.
That's true too, but not what I'm looking for. All y'all are right. I'm looking for something specifically, and if I give it to y'all, y'all gonna be like, "God damn, that's a good point." Anybody online? Anybody know why, if you're a so-called black, Hispanic, or Native American, you should be offended by the Stop Asian Hate bill or crime bill, whatever it is that is called? Shout them out.
Nobody hate Asians. Like, there's no real Asian hate going on in America.
That's I don't know. That's subjective. I'm not really too sure about that. You know what I mean? So I don't want to confirm or deny that part of it. But no, that's not it either. See if somebody online got it. I'm gonna give it to y'all. Bakar.
Is that something to do with like Joe Biden? No.
Mm-mm.
Only thing I was gonna say was Joe Biden promised that he would look out for blacks, and he hasn't signed.
Which goes to show you the so-called white man doing so-called white man things. So that's a good point, but not what I'm looking for. That's true, John, because they care about the other nations, not us. You're right. You're right about that too. He said they feel like we're not important to them. Everything that y'all saying is correct. Since you want to take a shot? All right. Nobody in the class got it. Nobody online got it. Okay, I'm gonna give it to y'all. The reason why, as so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans should be beyond offended by how fast this Stop Asian Hate bill was signed, the reason why we should be so offended by it. Okay, those are two good answers as well. The sister say I'm offended because my own people are fighting for the other nation. That's correct. We don't care. We don't even care about each other, but we want to care about Asians. Listen, those are two excellent answers. You sisters, those are good answers. Not what I'm looking for. All right.
Does that have to do with the timeline of how long it takes us for us to get any type of justice? But yet it was just a month.
You right there. You right on it. You right there, man.
What did you say?
You right there.
For us to get justice for the few times that they want to be prosecuted for murdering us, but in comparison, they get a hate crime in like a month.
Yeah, y'all, everything that y'all saying is correct. I'm not disagreeing with nothing that y'all saying. I'm looking for something specific, and so I gave online a chance. I gave y'all a shot. I'm gonna give it to y'all. The reason why we should be so offended is, how many of y'all seen streets full of Asians marching down to Capitol Hill? How many of y'all seen them knocking down the White House's doors, begging for a Stop Asian Hate bill? How many of y'all seen them join hand in hand in the streets saying no more Asian hate? Let's stop this shit. This is ridiculous. This is preposterous, and any other big word that the so-called white men love to use. How many of y'all seen the Asians in the streets protesting? How many of y'all seen them on the steps of Capitol Hill or at the steps of the courthouses? How many of y'all? How many of y'all have heard the so-called Asians say anything about anything? Meanwhile, what the fuck have we been doing for the last 400 years? We shall overcome. And doing that old goofball ass shit we've been doing, marching hand in hand with the same niggas that's goddamn killing us. Right. The Asians didn't even have to go in the streets, and they got a bill signed. You niggas been marching since Martin Luther King, dumbass. And you can't even get a fucking crumb. Right. And all they did was keep they fucking restaurants open and keep selling that goddamn rice with the peas in it and whatever other bullshit they selling in there. You understand? They're selling cat heads and all the other shit in the hurry up and buy shit like he said, and they got a bill passed and they ain't had to lift a goddamn finger. That's why I'm offended. That's why I have a problem with it. You get my point? Because they didn't have to do a goddamn thing. And you know the other thing, you know the other reason why you should be so offended? Because nobody told them ugly, stinking breath motherfuckers to move over here in the first goddamn place. Right. Meanwhile, we was forced over here. They moved over here by choice. Why? Because they knew they would have a better life over here than they were having that shithole country that they came from. Right. Meanwhile, we sleeping on park benches. And we can't get no help. Right. We've been sleeping on benches for years. You understand me? We've been sleeping under bridges. We've been sleeping at parks, bus stops, the back of restaurants when they close down, digging in trash cans, looking for scraps. Right. And these yellow bastards come over here and they get loans to open up businesses. They get loans to open up swap meets. And they buy that shit cheap and sell it to you for 50 times what it's actually worth. And because a few of them ugly bastards get spit on or get some shit thrown at them, get some rocks thrown at them or something like that, they get a whole goddamn bill. Meanwhile, Tamir Rice got murdered at 12 years old. Meanwhile, Ma'Khia Bryant got murdered at 16. But there's a Stop Asian Hate bill. This is why you should be pissed off if you're a so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native American. This is why, man. I give a fuck about them Asians. What about the man that lives next door to you who gets notices on his goddamn door every fucking month because he's having a hard time finding a job because the Asians that moved into his neighborhood and set up shop won't give him a job? How about that, Black man? How about that, Hispanic man, Native American man? You can go in there and spend money with them all goddamn day and go buy all the eyelashes, all that goddamn toenail polish, and all that bullshit you buy, but you can't get a job. Go in that store and be 10 cents short. And what's the chance of you being able to walk out with whatever it is that you went in there and bought? They open up shop in your neighborhood and do not live in your neighborhood. Why? Because in their minds, they better than you. You understand? But they got no problem with taking your money, but they got a problem with living amongst you. You know why? Because you're scum in their eyes. You're filthy and disgusting. And you got the nerve to have your dumb ass sitting there supporting some Stop Asian Hate. And you know what that is in reality? You nasty, dirty dick motherfuckers are looking for a reason to fuck on them nasty bitches. That's the reality of it. Right. And if I get checked for this class, I'll take it. Because it's worth it. Why? Because I love my people more than I love some funky ass Asians. That's why. You understand me? That's the reality of y'all supporting Stop Asian Hate. Because you trifling bitches to do anything for a discount on a punk ass wig. That's why. Because you think your hair gotta look like Becky's. Right. When ain't nothing wrong with rocking a fro. Right. Ain't nothing wrong with your own hair. Right. Ain't nothing wrong with you walking around without makeup. That's okay. You know why? Let me tell y'all a little secret. Because us niggas, we don't give a fuck about your makeup. That's right. And we don't give a damn about your weave. Right. We don't give a damn about how long your nails is. We don't give a damn about the little, and what they call that stuff that they put on there, the extra layers. What's that called? That thick stuff? There it is right there. We don't give a fuck about none of that. All we ask is that you be clean. Right. Right. You understand? Right. All we ask is that you ain't just hopped off another nigga before you came and hollered at me. Right. Right. You understand? All we ask is that when you open your mouth, it don't smell like another nigga's rod. That's all we asking for. Is that asking for too much? You understand me? Is it asking? Are we asking for too much to ask that a sister put some goddamn sandals on without her feet looking like she been walking in goddamn cauliflower all fucking day? Are we asking for too much? Is that too much? You understand? Seriously. Are we asking for too much that y'all put some lotion on y'all fucking feet instead of looking like y'all been running track all goddamn day barefoot? Is that asking for too much? So hold on. Listen. Okay, I kind of go off the rails a little bit. So like it, I get a little ramped up when it comes. You understand? Listen. So like it. The bottom line is we don't care about that stuff. That I said all that to say we don't care.
Right.
You understand me? We wouldn't give a damn if y'all didn't support not one goddamn Asian beauty supply. We don't care.
That's right.
We got a black owned beauty supply, by the way, Candies.
That's
over
right.
there on Craig, 345 West Craig Road.
Right.
Or Street Avenue, I'm not sure, but it's 345 Craig Road. Take your black ass over there.
Right.
Support black businesses. How you gonna say you pro-black and you all up in the Asian's face all the goddamn time, showing your big ass teeth? You understand? Listen, man. Read. Hey, listen. That's an excellent point. The sisters say, and trying to look like Becky got a lot of sisters going bald. She's absolutely right. Hey, you know how many sisters out here looking like Fort Apache by the head because they wearing them goddamn wigs and shit. Let me start myself. I love y'all. This is all out of love. The point that I'm trying to make is stop trying to look like Becky. That's the point I'm trying to make. You understand? Stop trying to look like Kim Kardashian because Kim Kardashian is not real. That's right. You stick a pin in her ass and all that jelly and all that whatever shit she didn't put in there is finna be all over the goddamn. Listen, man. Y'all sitting there trying to compare yourself to Kim Kardashian, trying to look like Kim Kardashian when Kim Kardashian's claim to fame is swallowing Ray J's load. Y'all niggas want to be the nigga to go behind him, the squarest nigga on the goddamn block. So like I didn't got way over YouTube, Facebook. You understand me? So like, listen, man. Y'all get my point though. You understand? To hell with them Asians, man. Love your own.
That's right.
Can you imagine? Listen. Can you imagine if we gave a third of the love and compassion to our own that we give to the Asians?
Right.
Just think about how much different we'd be as a people. You get what I'm saying? We better pick up the phone and say, hey, you know what? I know I was wrong. I apologize. You know what? I'm sorry too.
Right.
Boom, done. You want to go out and have some drinks? Yeah, for sure. We ain't going to the Asian spot though, right? Nah, okay, cool. Done. Problem solved, right? You get my point? That's the thing though. A simple phone call. You get what I'm saying? I could say something to one of these brothers right now, unknowingly offending them, and them brothers will pull me to the side and say, hey, Salaki, sir, hey, that shit wasn't cool, man. I didn't really have a problem with that. You know, my feet really ain't that big. Salaki. Hey, you know what, man? That's not the point, man. The point is Salaki. The point is, y'all killing me, man. The point is, hey, you know what? I didn't mean it like that, man. I was just messing with Salaki. If you was offended by what I said, I apologize, man. Let me buy you a drink. Cool. Done. You know what I'm saying? Boom. All done. You get what I'm saying? That's all it takes, man, is an ounce of compassion, man. You get what I'm saying? Y'all. Listen, man, the bottom line is, man, read Romans 13:11 again.
God.
Please.
And that, knowing the time, that now it is high time to awake out of sleep.
That sleep is loving these other nations, man. Right. That sleep is getting ready to celebrate Memorial Day.
Right.
That sleep is support to stop Asian hate. That sleep is pray for the Palestinians. You understand? That sleep is, hey, that's messed up what y'all doing to the Jewish man. But it's not messed up what they did to Atiana Jefferson. You get what I'm saying? It's not messed up what they did to Joshua Feast.
Right.
You get my point? What about Oscar Grant? What about that? About Stephen Clark? But yet, nobody's talking about that outside of UPK.
Right.
You get my point? Go back, go way back. What about Emmett Till? Was that cool? What about how they did Billie Holiday? Was that cool? What about how they blackballed all these niggas that decided that they wanted to speak up on some shit? Deshaun Jackson is an afterthought now, and all he said was the Jews was black. That's all he said. But because he played for a team that was owned by a so-called Jew, oh fuck that. We get rid of this nigga.
Right.
You get my point? I rock, shoot it.
If I may, especially with Memorial Day coming up and whatnot, and that's basically, and also the 4th of July as well. They want us all to remember all those that fought for this country and whatnot. But then, nobody wants to teach about what Nat Turner did.
Thank you.
The fact that Memorial Day was fighting for our freedom.
Right.
4th of July was for the freedom of this country.
Right.
But when Nat Turner was doing what he did, I mean, his payment was he got skin castrated.
Yeah.
And now, he's got his skin purse.
Yeah.
Walking,
you get my point?
Around the earth.
That's an excellent point. And here's another excellent point. The sister said, we turn back to the Most High, we will lift the curse that he put on black women in our hair. She's absolutely right. Listen, man, listen. You know what? Nah, I'm not even going to do that. Listen, the bottom line of what the sister said was heavy. I'm going to leave it at that, man. These black women going to hate me when I can sell. I'm not even going to say that. I'm going to leave it alone. Listen, on some real shit, though, just understand this. The things that I say about black men and black women, it's out of love. It's not about trying to shame y'all. You understand? It's not about trying to make fun of y'all. It's not about that. But at the same time, you understand, somebody get the scripture that said, I'm paraphrasing, am I your enemy because I tell you the truth?
Right.
It's in the New Testament. I believe it's in James. Don't quote me on that, but it's definitely in the New Testament. Somebody get that for me. Read it when you got it, please.
I got it.
Bakar, shoot it.
The book of Galatians, chapter 4, verse 16.
Shoot it.
It says, am I therefore become your enemy because I tell you the truth?
Read it again.
Am I therefore become your enemy because I tell you the truth?
Read it one more time.
Am I therefore become your enemy because I tell you the truth?
You want to know why the pastor man doesn't have no enemies outside of the UPK? Because he doesn't tell the truth.
Right.
You want to know why we're looked at and labeled as a hate group? Because we tell the truth.
Right.
You see the difference? That's why that scripture is there. Am I therefore become your enemy because I tell you the truth? Yes. For those that drive up and down the street when we out there at camp and saying death threats and all that kind of shit, which we ain't worried about, by the way.
That's
right. Ain't no punks in here.
Right.
We not asking for it, but we ain't running from it either. You get my point? But I ain't finna go into that because I ain't trying to sound corny in here, but y'all get the point, though.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? We're looked at as a hate group because we tell y'all the truth. Because we tell y'all the truth, we hate black women. Because we tell y'all the truth. And in reality, we love black women.
That's right.
We really do. How do you know? Because we tell y'all to get off the stripper pole and get out the abortion clinics. Stop selling your body for money. Your body is worth more than a dollar sign. Where's the hate in that? If I told you to leave the abortion clinic, where's the hate in that? And I don't mean to point you out. I just look this way because you're a sister. You know what I mean? But where's the hate in that though? Because I'm telling you that abortion is against the Most High. It's murder. I hate you because of that. You get what I'm saying? Where's the hate in that, Bakar?
I had a precept for what you just said.
Shoot it.
2 Corinthians 11 and 6. It says, but though I be rude in speech, yet not in knowledge.
Read it again.
But though I be rude in speech, yet not in knowledge.
You know what? You know why that scripture had to be in there? Because of at that time the Sadducees and Pharisees. But who's talking now, Arak? No. Read that part again.
But though I be rude in speech, yet not in knowledge.
Think about the time that we was in back then. Who was speaking back then?
Oh, Paul.
No.
Oh.
Yes, in that scripture, but no. Think about what Paul is saying. Paul is saying, I be rude in speech, but not in knowledge. Who was talking back then? Shalom.
Was he saying that because the Pharisees spoke softly? So he
get a brother in. That's why. So if the Sadducees and Pharisees was talking back then, Iraq, who's talking today? Specifically. Bakar. That's it. The Christian pastors. Why am I using that parallel? Because they speak softly and they say all the kind words that you want to hear.
Right.
This is why Paul had to say that. The Sadducees and Pharisees is blowing smoke up your ass. Me, I'm telling you what time it is. And I don't give a damn about your feelings. I'm letting you know what it is. You get my point, Bakar?
And that scripture is so heavy because you get so many people that hear us curse, so-called curse, or swear word, or whatever they want to call it, not understanding what a real curse word and swear word is.
Right.
Or they say we're using profanity.
Right.
And they don't understand the definition of being profane and things like that. So
right. That's very true.
This scripture is heavy because, like you said, the way we come off, it can be dismissive to some people because they're so indoctrinated with the Christian pastor and how he gets up there with those smooth words.
Right.
and those kind words.
Exactly.
And speak softly.
Exactly.
And smooth as butter, as the Bible like to say. You understand? But they don't have no knowledge at all. They speak commandments. I'm paraphrasing the scripture. Commandments of men.
Right.
They're not telling you what the scriptures say.
Exactly.
We use damn, ass, and so forth. You know, just unapologetically because of the passion that's behind us.
Right.
Because like the scriptures say, we may be rude in speech, but in knowledge, we make sure you understand. You can understand your mama when she cursing at you. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like a parent, any parent. You may not get it until they say, sit your ass down, or you know what I'm saying? Bring your goddamn ass over here or something.
Yeah.
You might understand that this is important that you do this. You get what I'm saying? Like Christian pastor, they're going to go around that because they know they're not passionate about what's coming out their mouth because they don't have the knowledge. They're here trying to roll you to sleep, back to sleep. You understand? So you could just, you know what I'm saying, be lost.
That's an excellent point that you just, no. What you said was 100. And here's what's so funny, because had you not went there, I was going to go there. Think about you as a child. We was all hard-headed to an extent. Some was more hard-headed than others.
Right.
You know what I mean? Some of us, a lot more hard-headed than others. You understand? Yeah. Yeah. So I'm just messing with you. The point is, when you was told to get down, you would get down, but you would get back up. Then you get told again, get down. You get down, and you get down, right? But then eventually you get back up. Why don't you sit your ass down? And don't let me tell you again. Oh shit, let me hurry, let me stop playing with her. Because the next time she says that, you're gonna beat my ass. This is why we talk the way we talk. Because if we talk like the pastors, y'all gonna laugh at us.
Right.
And there'd only be one brother in the school reading for himself, setting up the camera, the whole everything. You get what I'm saying? If I talk to you niggas in nigga language, everybody's gonna understand what the hell I'm saying.
Right.
Why? Because we all speak the same language. Sit your dumb ass down and shut the fuck up.
Right.
And learn something.
Right.
You get my point? That's how Captain Zara could be having to talk to them Kemet niggas. You get what I'm saying? And them niggas and all them 5%, all them dumbass niggas.
Right.
You get my point? But that's because what the scriptures say, we stiff neck.
Yeah.
Except them loudmouth women, them necks ain't stiff at all. They move them motherfucking necks, don't they? So like, let me stop. Sisters, I love y'all. I'm saying out of love, it's a lot. They gonna get me tonight, boy. It's a lot. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just saying, we just walk around here looking like Merton Hanks by the neck and shit. You understand? So like it. Let me stop. All right, you know what? Let me stop. Listen. Sisters is all out of love. A lot of y'all niggas had no idea who the hell Merton Hanks is. That's another conversation for another day. All y'all gotta do is look up Merton Hanks. Let that nigga get an interception. It's a safety for the 49ers. Look him up and see what he do after he get an interception and score a touchdown. My old heads know exactly what I'm talking about. Y'all niggas look up Merton Hanks. Merton. Last name Hanks. Look up Merton Hanks and look at that nigga when he get an interception. And it's gonna make it even funnier. But I'm trying to stall the sisters out because I love y'all. I really do. You understand? I know it don't sound like, man, fuck ass. Who the fuck you think he is? Oh, green eye, nigga, fuck him. I understand. I get it. Oh, chicken loving ass nigga. I understand all that. You understand? Yeah, I love my chicken. I love you hard-headed Negroes as well. And that's why I'm sitting up here teaching this class the way I'm teaching this class. You understand? So before I ask anybody if they have any questions, y'all look up Merton Hanks real quick. Everybody in the room. If y'all want to check it out online, y'all look up Merton Hanks and it'll make a lot of sense. Why I said Merton Hanks.
So like, why neck come up with his neck?
Yeah, hey, for real, neck bands come up. Merton Hanks neck band.
Y'all see why it makes sense now? Now change his head out with your woman's head and tell me that ain't her. Looking like one of them goddamn Pez dispensers. It's a lot. Let me stop, man. Listen, I love y'all. I really do. It's a lot. So I'm just saying. I'm just listen, man. I'm just saying. It's a lot. Okay, I'll be nice. It's a lot. I'm be good. It's a lot. Let me stop. Nah, but real talk. Off this topic, does anybody have? Actually, on topic, does anybody have any questions about what we're just talking about right now? Anything that they want to add to the scriptures? Anybody want to remember the scriptures we went over? Anything? Anybody want to elaborate any further? Any examples anybody want to give? Anything like that? If not, we'll take questions off topic. Anybody on Facebook have any questions? Lord Allah, I'll be able to answer them. If not, Iraq, shoot it.
Real quick. Are pearls lawful to wear for women? Or just in general?
Why wouldn't they be?
Because it comes from a shellfish.
Y'all planning on eating them pearls?
A lot.
You just wearing them, right?
Well, because my question I had for you a couple of months ago
about the okay.
Like
so now I got you. I understand. So now let me ask you this. I got you. So now where do the pearls come from?
The mouth, the sand.
Okay. So do they have to be killed in order to get the pearl? There you go. So any animal that doesn't, even if it's an unlawful animal, if it does not have to be killed, it's unlawful. Let's take, because I believe it was John that wore the camel hair, right? Was it John?
Right.
He didn't kill that camel in skinning. He was able to skin him. You get my point? In order to wear gaiters, you think you finna just take that gator skin? Nah, what you got to do to that gator, Iraq? You got to kill him. That's what makes gators unlawful. Shout him out, start wearing that gator belt. So I'm messing with Shout, that's my man. But you get the point though, right? Anything that does not have to be killed. Again, the scripture, the precept that you will pull is John wearing a camel, because you can't eat a camel, right? But you can rock his gear though, right? Rock his gear. You can wear, because I'm sure that camel mad as hell at you. That nigga walk around bald as shit, cold as a motherfucker, but he like, yeah, you see what I'm saying? So like, any other questions? Exactly. Well, nah, he cool now. Cause that know what I'm saying, ain't summertime is over. That nigga out there freezing his ass off.
So would that come from, like, let's say like some like ivory coming from an elephant tusk?
Okay. Again, if you do not have to kill the animal, you can wear it.
How would you know if they killed it?
Okay, so I mean that's the thing though. Like, I doubt that elephant gonna be alive when you taking his tusk. I highly doubt it.
So you can buy an ivory piano.
What is ivory though?
Ivory is from their tusk. Yeah. I don't want to be too.
No, I got you. Let me double check on that, because I know playing instruments ain't unlawful. Let me double check on that part. But I know when it comes to wearing garments, I know as long as that animal does not have to be killed in order to wear it, or in order to get his skin or fur, whatever the case may be, that is lawful.
Only reason why I asked, because you got obviously wearing a garment is different, but let's say if it's a goddamn lion fur rug, you're not wearing it, but it's in your house, right? You're touching it, you know what I'm saying? And that's why I'm saying I get ivory isn't necessarily a part of the carcass of an animal. It's just like bone, I believe. Right. So I don't know. Like,
yeah,
I'm not trying to get too technical.
No, I understand. I got you. Text that to me so I can double check. But what I will say is, because I know on General Muhammad that said that it's lawful to have a boar's hair brush.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So listen, I'm gonna leave on General Muhammad. So if he said it, I'm going with that. You get my point? So I would apply that to the piano or the lion rug or whatever the case may be, because that brush is actually touching your face. You get my point? You're using to brush your beard, or if you cut your hair down low, you know what I'm saying? You get your waves on point and all that good shit. Wearing the royal crown here, because I didn't mess with Murray's myself. I rock that royal crown. Y'all niggas like, what the hell is royal crown? You know what? Listen, man, moving right along. Any other questions? Y'all niggas ain't gonna get me tonight. Any other questions? I rock.
So like, just kind of go off of what the officer was saying. So like, say you found like a shark tooth out there in the beach, that'd be technically the same thing, because you didn't kill the shark before, but that's still bone. But you didn't kill it for, like, so like if you want to make like a shark tooth necklace type thing, that would be for wild technically, right? Like, you didn't actually kill the animal to do it.
You just walking down the beach, kicking seashells and singing melodies to your woman, and you just find a goddamn shark tooth. Is that what you're saying? Yeah, I hear you with the goddamn guitar and everything, right? I understand. And you saying if you find a shark tooth, yeah. let me text that to me. And let me double check, because I refuse to give an answer without having a full understanding. So if I don't have that for y'all within the next couple of days, I'll have that by next class for sure. You know what I mean? Because again, we don't lean on our own understanding in here. Right. And I'm not up here to act like I got the answer to every goddamn question. Right. But I will get the answer. That's why this brotherhood is so strong. Because whatever I don't know, I know I go to the men above me, and I know they'll type me up. You get my point? This class that I started teaching last week, and I'm getting ready to teach today, was handed to me. You understand? Was broken down to me personally by Captain Imad out there in Philly, and I love that brother, man. Listen, I can go to the rest of the class just talking about that brother and his brotherhood alone, but I won't do that for time's sake. So, any other questions? Did you see any question on? You see, I don't see any questions on Facebook. Yeah, somebody check and see if there's any questions on YouTube. All right. Okay, I don't see any questions on Facebook. So now I'm gonna go ahead and pull that story real quick. The one that General Q sent me. Cause and you guys let me know if I actually did go into it, but I know I had mentioned it, but I don't think I actually went in depth on this story. Right? This is from smartnews.com. Wants to take me to the app, and I ain't trying to go to the app. Let me see something. Let me see. Give me a second. Okay, this from Smart News. It says Nevada police asked children of deaf black woman to interpret for them as they detained her. The North Las Vegas Police Department asked the children of Andrea Hollingsworth, a black woman who was deaf, to interpret for them. Let me see. Okay, let me see if I can get to the story because it's trying to get me to download the app and all that. Damn, all that. Okay, it says body camera footage released by the Department of Hollingsworth's own Facebook Live of the incident has caused backlash as it shows officers involving the children in the arrest of their mother, Las Vegas Review-Journal reported. Settle down, stop this, one officer said to the two little girls crying in the back of the car, according to the body camera footage. One of you guys need to talk some sense into her. Another officer came to the scene and asked the girl at least a dozen times to translate the conversation. Officer Michael Rose claims in his report that Hollingsworth was very uncooperative and called her use of American Sign Language constant erratic hand movements. So-called white man doing so-called white man things. The sister's deaf. She's talking with her hands because that's all she knows. But according to him, constant erratic hand movements. Why am I bringing this story up? Because for those who want to know why it is that we speak against the so-called white man, it's because of stories like this. Right. Because if we don't say nothing to defend this system, nobody else will. Right. You get my point? You don't often see violations that seem this clear. Referring to the Americans with Disabilities Act, the department has 24-hour sign language. Wow, listen to this. The department has 24-hour sign language interpreters available, but department spokesman did not answer why one wasn't called to the scene. I'm gonna read that again. The department has 24-hour sign language interpreters available, but department spokesman Alexander Cuevas did not answer why one wasn't called to the scene. So what does that tell you right there? That part that I just read, what does that let you know? All right. Yeah. He's trying to create an excuse. Yes, exactly. So-called white man doing so-called white man things. You have interpreters on standby 24 hours. But yet not one interpreter was called. And don't nobody see nothing wrong with that? So what y'all paying them for? You get what I'm saying? So-called white man doing so-called white man things. Says Hollingsworth was pulled over after a former friend said Hollingsworth was stalking and harassing her. The officer removed Hollingsworth from her car and pushed her to the ground when she would not sit down. I got to read this part again. The officer removed Hollingsworth from her car and pushed her to the ground when she would not sit down. With, I ain't hit y'all with it yet. With Hollingsworth apologizing and saying she couldn't hear him. So once again, you want to know why it is that we will continue to our graves, continue to talk and battle and go to war against the so-called white man? It's because the story, I'm not even going to read no more because the shit going to piss me off. Just reading this little bit right here got me amped up. You know what I'm saying? So when the scriptures say, y'all know my favorite scripture, surely oppression maketh the wise man mad. Right. This is why. Because of stories like this. You want to know why we mad? You want to know why we yell on them street corners? You want to know why we sound like just loudmouth niggas on the street corners? For Andrea Hollingsworth. That's why. Because she doesn't even have a voice, unfortunately. You get my point? But yet that didn't stop them from physically assaulting that sister. Now to pull a Time to Kill. Now imagine if she was white. Real shit though. I mean, I pulled a movie reference jokingly, but real shit though. Think about it. Imagine if that was a deaf white woman, and y'all tell me how that would have worked out. How you think that would have played out, sis? See what I'm saying? The first thing they would have did was called an interpreter, right? Bakar.
I was gonna say there would have been some group for disabled people, you know what I'm saying, or something that would have definitely led some sort of, you know what I'm saying, outcry for termination or, you know, repercussions.
That's an excellent point.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, I'm sure some national group.
The ADA, the Americans with Disabilities Act.
Yeah, our association, right?
Yeah.
So the ADA would have stood up on behalf and spoke out and demanded that you know, white women been, you know, justified.
That, you know what? That's an excellent point. And I didn't even think about that. That's an excellent point. This story was buried. And I mentioned this story for a couple reasons. One, because it happened right here in our own backyard. So for those that want to know why the hell we over there on MLK and Lake Mead on Saturdays, screaming at the top of our lungs and blowing out our voices, this is why. Because of Andrea Hollingsworth. And however many other countless victims that we don't know about. You get what I'm saying? Y'all think about that brother, man. Listen, man, I wish I could remember the brother's name. It's like I couldn't watch the video. I think y'all know where I'm going. That body cam footage that got leaked of them beating that brother to death. Y'all know what I'm talking about? Kevin Azani, I posted it, made a post about it earlier. I cannot remember the brother's name. I didn't have the heart to watch that video. But the body cam was released of them beating that brother to death. And what's so sad about them beating that brother to death is in the midst of that brother being beat to death, you know what he was saying? I'm your brother and you're my brother. And so I hate that happened to that brother. I really do. And condolences to him and his family, no doubt about it. But you see the problem with Christianity? You see the problem with the brainwashing? You see the problem with us celebrating Memorial Day? This brother was so indoctrinated with Christianity and so indoctrinated with the American spirit, because let's just say he never went to church a day in his life. But he still had the red, white, and blue in his veins. How do you know he had the red, white, and blue in his veins, Shalom? How do you know?
Because he claimed that he's brothers with the white man.
That's how you know that he has red, white, and blue coursing through his veins. Because of what he said out of his own mouth. I'm your brother and you are my brother. In the midst of them beating the piss out, they literally beat him to death. Not figuratively. Literally. You get the story yet, Rock? You ain't even gotta read it. I just want the brother's name. Anybody online? Oh, Ronald Green, Salakian. I believe that's the brother's name. The water says. I believe that's the brother's name, Ronald Green. Listen, I'm not gonna spend too much time on that, man, because the more I think about it, listen, man, if you have any ounce of compassion for your people, man, shit like that should make you tear up. Like real talk. Like, again, this is why we beg the Most High to send Christ and them angels back. This is why we go out on the street corner. This is why we teach these classes. We're begging for the Most High, you understand, to send Christ back so that we can get this oppressor's foot off our goddamn necks. You get me? Or knee, should I say. They're not doing feet no more. They're doing knee. We're not good enough for their feet no more. We just get the knee now. You get my point? They beat that man to death. You get what I'm saying? And so when we pull scriptures like Isaiah 14 and 21, when we pull Revelations 13 and 10, you understand? When we pull scriptures like that, you understand? When we pull Ecclesiastes 7 and 7, when we read the book of Obadiah, you understand? When we go into Ezekiel, the 35th chapter, when we go into all these books and when we read about Psalms 139, when King David said, do I hate them with a perfect hatred? Why? It's because of Ronald Green. You understand me? This is why. You want to know why it is that we teach these classes with the passion in the spirit and the zeal that we teach these classes. You want to know why? Because we hate the white man. We hate the so-called white man. Is it because of his long, stringy hair? Is that why? Maybe it's because of his blue eyes. Maybe that's what it is. You know what I'm saying? Maybe that's why. Maybe it's because of his boiled bologna smell. Maybe that's why it is. You understand? Maybe because his breath smell like stale cheese whiz. Maybe that's what it is. That's why, right? Yeah, those are the reasons, right? Nah, it's his crimes, man. It's the crimes that he's committed and, finish my sentence, Shalimar,
committing.
The crime that he's committing. This is why. They beat that man to death. They dragged a deaf woman out of her car when she was apologizing because she couldn't hear them. She's apologizing. I didn't read nothing now. I didn't read the whole story, so maybe there was some out there, but I didn't see nothing about no female cops being out there dealing with that situation. But imagine if that was a white woman. Do you think there was any male cop that would have put their hands on that white woman? Shalimar.
If I could, like, I don't think people understand, like, both of these stories is going to show how oppressed we are, the amount of helplessness that we feel, the fact that, you know, black people, Hispanic people, we are people that we know we've done wrong, we're willing to die over that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Or so we say. But when a white man is doing us wrong, we feel so helpless, we can do nothing but sit there and beg.
Right.
I'm your brother.
Right.
We both the same, like whatever it is I got to do to prevent this onslaught, because apparently I'm doing something wrong.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Oh, I'm deaf, I can't hear what they're saying, but apparently they put me over for a reason, so please, I'm so sorry, I can't hear you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, no matter what type of wrongdoing is being done to us, you know what I'm saying? We still feel the need to plead and beg, because apparently maybe we're the problem.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We need to apologize, saying, "Oh, I'm so sorry that I have an ailment and I can't hear you." Right. "Oh, I'm so sorry that you don't know that I'm your brother still." You know what I'm saying? Like it's saddening that we've been grinded down into powder to the point where we feel like we need to, you know what I'm saying? Like if a white man come, the police come in and put a gun in our head right now, we need to say, "I'm so sorry. What did I do?" Right. That's gonna be our first response. "I'm so sorry. Don't kill me. What did I do wrong?" Right. You know what I'm saying? Not that I'm sitting here minding my business. Right. You know what I'm saying? Not all the countless stories of brothers being sitting in a damn driveway with their car turned on and the police messing with them. Not that I'm in my damn driveway, not even driving. Right. You know what I'm saying? Or however many stories we could just go on forever and ever. But just the fact that I'm a black man in America, I'm a black woman in America, I can be paralyzed, I can be deaf, I can be blind, I can be mentally ill. But you know what? Even with all of those illnesses and all of those ailments, I'm programmed enough to know that I'm the problem. Right. You know what I'm saying? It's ridiculous. So like,
no, that's heavy. Bakar. Excellent point you just brought out the water.
It goes back to what you said earlier about the 4th of July, which I know is not till a couple more months. We celebrate independence. That goes to show you that we still, you know what I'm saying, in captivity. Right. You don't believe that you're in captivity. Turn on your news station or Google what's going on with your people. Yeah. Because that in itself just shows you that the rights to, be the procedures that the police are supposed to follow only applies to our oppressors, family or nation. You know what I'm saying? In other nations, the Asians, you know what I'm saying, who got that crime bill passed, and whatnot. The Africans, the goddamn so-called Jewish men, You know what I'm saying? All of these people who, and if you ain't watched Black Watch, it's coming for them. If they haven't already passed it, they probably already have anti-Semitic laws that I maybe missed because it's been recent attacks on Jewish people, given what's going on in the Middle East. Right. You understand? Don't be surprised if those laws get passed soon. So we always being overlooked, and the laws don't apply to us. Right. The rights that America say that you have don't apply to you. Right. The innocent until proven guilty don't apply. Right. A police officer pulls a black woman, man, child over, he's automatically, you know, deemed someone a criminal.
Right.
And not even given the benefit of the doubt. It just goes to show that we still in captivity. And our only freedom and our only way we're going to wake up out of that sleep is to follow Christ. You understand? And to follow these scriptures. And to do as our King has commanded us to do. You understand? And that's for us to be in our own nation. You understand? For us to get back to these laws, statutes, and commandments.
Nah, everything that you said is 100. Both of you brothers brought out some excellent points. Matter of fact, you know what I'm saying? Let's give both of these brothers a hand, man, because everything that y'all said is something that you'll only hear in here. You get my point? And what's so crazy about it is that, and I'm not saying, you know, that's what the so-called Jewish man get, that's what the Palestinians get. I'm not saying none of that. What I will say is the scriptures say vengeance is mine, said the Lord. I will say that. You get my point? Where I will say, you understand, he that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. I will say that.
Right.
You get my point? But the thing about it is that if they haven't passed one, they'll pass one soon. You're right. If they haven't. And what's so crazy about it is it only takes days for them to pass something. It only takes days for them to start a movement. You get my point? Right. About the so-called Jewish man, or about the Palestinians, about the Asians. Meanwhile, we've been marching in the streets, holding hands and all that. And I'm going to ask the same question I asked earlier. How many Jewish men have you seen in the streets holding hands? How many? How many protests have you seen the so-called Jewish man hold? How many of them have gone to the news and say, hey, man, this got to stop, man. This hate that they showing us, man, you know, it's not fair to us. You get my point? And here's another thing that's heavy as hell too, right? So there's going to be a lot of so-called Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans that served in the military, right? They're gonna celebrate Memorial Day, and they're gonna invite everybody over, and they're gonna do the big food and all that kind of stuff, right? And they'll sweep up under the rug all the time that they got put over by the police, and they heart down there jumped out of their chest because even though they ex-military, like the so-called Hispanic brother that Commander General Hahn was bringing out on Black Watch, he thought because he used to work for the feds that they was gonna stall him out because he worked for the feds, and he's an older brother. They had no problem with going upside that brother's head, which means what? If you so-called Black, Hispanic, or Native American, you put that uniform on, you know how they still look at you? How do they still see you, Iraq? Even with that uniform on, you're still what? At the end of the day, you ain't nothing but a nigga to them, uniform and all. Like Armand brought up earlier. Nobody talks about how they was beating them brothers up, beating them brothers senseless, and they had their uniforms on. Iraq, shoot it.
If I may, you know, you go all the way back to the Red Summer, was that 1912, 19 teens, right after World War I had ended, when, you know, the brothers came back from fighting the world wars, not even getting out their uniforms yet, didn't even get off the bus to go and see their families. And that was, you know, the Red Summer because they got massacred. Then, you know, you fast forward over 100 years. Mind you, we're supposed to forget these things. It's a lot here, sir. But over 100 years later, here we are in 2021. And what was that brother's name? Was it Carlos? Not Carlos. The brother that got pulled over and he pulls up into a gas station so he could be in the light, so there was no mistake. And the cop pulled up on him and said, "Put your hands out. Get out the car." He said, "Man, I'm scared. I don't want to move." And he said, "You should be scared." Why he got a gun pointed at him. Right. And then now, you know, good thing is, he just ended up getting maced. But why he even got to get maced? He just sitting in his car with his hands out the window like this with his arms. And no, mind you, he's a second lieutenant. He's an officer, a commissioned officer in the United States Army. He was in his ACU uniform, right, and still got treated like a nigga.
You know what's sad about what you said? What's the worstest part about what he just said? After everything he just said, because everything he brought up was heavy as hell. What should have stood out about what that brother said? Shout him out.
He was wearing a U.S. military uniform.
That's true. Not what I'm looking for. Iraq.
It was the same thing with him being in uniform 100 years ago to today.
That's true too. Not what I'm looking for. Bakar, you want to take a shot?
Still a nigga?
That's true too. So you want to take a shot? For time's sake, I'm gonna give it to y'all. He said, at least he only got pepper sprayed.
Damn.
Let that sink in for a second. Like, that's a victory for us. I'm gonna try not to, you know what I mean? But I'm just saying, though, just think about that for a second. We so used to getting gunned down. We so used to getting beat to death like Ronald Green that the brother said, at least he only got pepper sprayed. That's how destroyed we are as a nation. That's how beaten down we are as a nation. To where that's a victory. Meanwhile, Stop Asian Hate Bill is passed. Right. Meanwhile, there'll probably be an anti-Semitic hate bill passed soon. But we sitting there saying, oh, he only got pepper sprayed. Mind you, the brother had his hands out the goddamn car. In uniform. But we're going to fire up them grills on Monday. We're going to fire up them grills on Monday. Who had it? Bakar, you had your hand up first. Shoot.
No, and I'm going to be brief. So like,
nah, get down.
What's so sickening about what you said about the Asian hate bill is, for those who don't know, I'm sure the Chinese embassy, they have some sort of connection with the United States government. I'm sure there's some sort of ambassador for China in a part of the cabinet of the presidential Oval Office or whatever. There's some ambassador for damn near every country that America pretty much, does deals with and pretty much becomes a liaison in between the country, right? Well, what's so sad about it is because you've seen our so-called leaders, which if you haven't turned on the news, you haven't watched the presidential election, it was these so-called pastors. There was, whether they was in the office with Trump or with Biden, promoting their presidency. And you would think that they have the same type of liaison or go-between that could represent us and stop things from happening to us and get a bill passed. You see what I'm going with it? It used to be Jesse Jackson had a seat right, out of the Christian church and into the Oval Office. They put him in some goddamn corner or whatever or whatnot. And it just shows to us how much we destroyed, because even though we supposedly have this representation, we're not getting the proper, justice. And we're right here in America, and then we're so-called Americans as well, with that same representation that the Chinese, and these are so-called potential enemies of the United States.
Excellent point.
And you get what I'm saying? And it's crazy when you really think about it, because all your pastors tell you to vote Biden. All your celebrities, including one LeBron James, I don't want to go get deep into it, told you to vote. You would think they would have a go-between. They could be a go-between. You understand? To where you'd be like, well, damn, they word should mean something. They said vote for this political person.
Right.
They, the Chinese didn't even tell their people to vote. You never seen them promote and vote for Biden. And they automatically have it every president. They have some ambassador for their people. And you look at yourself and you have world-renowned people that's famous throughout history. And they can't even get you nothing past. It just shows, if you don't realize you're in captivity and that what we bringing out is the truth, then you clearly are still what Christ said and what Paul brought up. You're still asleep. You're still asleep. And we don't mean it as a conscious community type of sleep. We mean it as you're just not paying attention to what's going on. You're not aware. You don't have the knowledge and the wisdom to be able to look at what's really going on. You know what I'm saying? And be able to decipher, like, wait a minute, this ain't making sense to me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They told me to vote the same thing, but y'all mean to tell me y'all can't get the same? You can't. It's like if you had an agent and a sports representative, you just seen Pat Mahomes did a $300 million deal, and you put up the same numbers. You know what I'm saying? If not better, because we're talking casualties, right? You put up better numbers. He just got $300 million. You got the same damn agent. You know what I'm saying? Representing you. Or your agent is the top agent. They got the same type of connections. Why you ain't getting the same contract?
Nah.
You get what I'm saying? Where is our contract?
Super facts, man. Nah, super fact. Get the brother in, man. All right. All right.
I just want to just cap off what he was saying. You know, that in itself just lets you know that the blacks, the so-called Negro in America, we ain't Africans.
Yeah.
You know, like he said, the Chinese, they got their ambassador where we damn near, you know, brewing up World War III, the rumors of war with China right now. But, you know, you can't hate on them. Doggone Middle Easterns want to, you know, start the war with the towers.
Man.
But shit, there's no discrimination.
Man, that's excellent. That's an excellent point.
But
yeah.
then, you know, like he was saying, who is our representation?
Right.
What nation is actually going to stand up for us? Who is our ambassador?
Right.
Except for some cool ass nigga that's just going to sell us out. Tell you know what? Hey, just keep being Christian.
Right.
So that you forgive
right.
and forget.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. Excellent point.
So what he was bringing up was just mighty heavy.
Excellent
point.
Let
you know we ain't Africans either.
Right. No, that's an excellent point. Shalimar, shoot it.
I was gonna say, you know what I'm saying, like both with these priests and prophets, you know what I'm saying, just said it's so heavy, you know what I'm saying. You hear how they had these stop Asian hate groups and yeah, we can't get a damn crumb, you know what I'm saying. You hear how no other nation dares to stand with us, and you hear how Ronald Green just got murdered. You know what I'm saying? George Floyd just got murdered.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? All of these people, and we still gonna go celebrate Memorial Day. We still gonna celebrate all of these holidays. And if I could, real quick, it absolutely disgusts me. Like it's disgusting to hear black people say, "Well, we just happy." You know what I'm saying? We just doing it because we got a day off. Like any excuse to celebrate the white man's holidays.
Right.
Any excuse would do.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Any excuse to still serve the white man mentally is enough. You know what I'm saying? To hell with the fact that they murdered us. To hell with the fact that Thanksgiving is literally the murder of Native Americans. To hell with the fact that Ronald Green just died in the streets. We still gonna celebrate these holidays because guess what? I'm free today. So if they gonna toss me a crumb and make me not have to be a slave today, then I'm gonna go ahead and celebrate the holiday when they tell me to.
Right. All right.
You know what I'm saying?
Come here quick. I'm listening. Go ahead.
Nah, it's like it just goes to show how much we love the white man and how much we truly hate the Lord. Man, you know what I'm saying? We have a.
I'm listening. Go ahead. Get down.
Hispanics damn near have a perpetual hatred for the Most High. You know what I'm saying? Like we would rather to hell with it don't matter. The white man can do his worst.
Yeah.
If he give me one single crumb, I'm all for him. And stop Asian hate. And the white man is my brother, even though he's trying to kill me right now. As long as I get that day off, I'm going to celebrate his holidays. You know what I'm saying? All of these things. And guess what? Nigga, I will kill you. Like you said, I'll kill you for saying the white man is the devil the Bible speaks of.
Yeah.
All we saying is, love your people enough to at least not celebrate these goddamn holidays. Man. You know what I'm saying? We getting killed every day. Love your people enough to not celebrate Thanksgiving. We still get killed every day. Love your people enough to not celebrate the 4th of July. We was in chains at that point. You know what I'm saying? Like, just love your people enough. You know what I'm saying? And they willing to kill you for saying those things. Yeah. And it's just absolutely disgusting how much we love the white man. Yeah. With a what's the word? Unconditional love.
You ain't never lied about
Blacks
that.
and Spanish love the white man with an unconditional love. Yeah. And we got a perpetual hatred for the Most High and for what's right. You know what I'm saying?
That's an excellent point. Before I go back to Bakar, my man, Officer Tapasar Banya Howard out of Killeen, Texas, man. Shout out to them brothers, man, for coming out here to Vegas, man. Going to war with us, man. It was an honor and a privilege. You know what I mean? To stand side by side with them brothers, man. Them brothers is excellent camp speakers. You know what I mean? Officer Karab out there holding it down. You know what I mean? Officer Tapasar, you know what I mean? Officer DeWar Yala, you know what I'm saying? Officer Kahunga Bar, man. Them excellent brothers, man. We enjoyed having them brothers out here.
That's right.
As well as Officer Parak, you understand? In Tuba Kabata Mach. We appreciate them brothers as well, man. We went to war, man, and had a glorious camp, man. That was a beautiful day. You know what I mean? So Most High in Christ, you know what I'm saying? For them brothers, man. But everything that y'all saying is on point, which is why the topic that we're gonna get into is so heavy. But before I get into that heavy, that topic, Bakar, shoot it, the water. Man, I appreciate it.
I'll be brief.
Now get down.
I was just gonna say what actually Salaki, I forgot my point, but I want to say no, Salaki, I forgot.
Okay, just we're gonna go. If there's no other questions or comments on what we was going over, I'm gonna go into the topic. But we can break topic. But Carl, when you think about what it is that you want to say, or whatever it is you want to add, and we'll get into it. No problem. All right. So I'm checking Facebook real quick. I don't see any questions. Oh, so hey, the water to the brothers from California that came out here as well. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Including the head of the West Coast. You understand? Captain Gadar. Captain Gadar came out here. You understand? Officer Tabawan. You know what I'm saying? Officer Kamadai and Officer Karataza. You know what I'm saying? Them brothers came out here, man, and rocked out with us, man. And so that was a glorious day, man. Listen, that day right there, man. Listen, if I could, real quick, man, that day is gonna go down for me, man, as one of the best days I've ever experienced in this truth. You know what I mean? And not because of the rank raise. Nah, that was cool. You know what I mean? And Brakatha Yahweh Yahweh shot for the generals and the captains above me who thought I was worthy of a rank raise. Y'all ain't got to clap for that Salaki. Because again, like I said in the beginning of the class, I didn't do it on my own. It wasn't my own doing. I would love to take credit for everything that I do in this truth. But if it wasn't for the Most High in Christ having mercy on me and the men above me for molding me and shaping me into the brother I am today, if it wasn't for you brothers going to war with me out here in Vegas to help me build this thing up, none of this should be happening right now. So I don't even want to sit here and act like, oh yeah, I did that, and yeah, me. Nah, fuck that. I didn't do this shit on my own. It wasn't me. Well, it's not a me thing. It's a we thing. You know what I mean? And so I'm forever, you know what I'm saying, humbled and grateful for that. You get what I'm saying? But the thing about it is, again, this is why this brotherhood is so important, because the brothers came out here from Killeen, Texas. You know what I'm saying? To come out here and go to war. The reason why I said that camp day was so glorious, and the reason why I said it's not because of the rank raise, it's because if y'all remember, people was stopping at the light. The light had turned green, and they was sitting there listening to us. They waited for us to bring them flyers. You know what I'm saying? That's what made that camp so glorious. People pulling over and parking and coming to ask questions. People pulling their cars over and parking to ask for flyers. Right. That's what made that day so glorious, because they was willing to hold up traffic just to hear the priest and prophets of the Lord speak. Right. That's what made that camp day a memorable day, and a day that I wouldn't forget. You understand? The rank raise, I'll forever be humbled by that, grateful for that, all that. That's what's up. Most High in Christ. But again, it's those who was willing to sit at that light, knowing that that light was green, and still listening to us. There was a brother that was in the turn lane that was waiting to make a right turn. There was nobody in front of him. He sat there listening. He could have been made that right turn. But you know why he didn't make that right turn? Because of brothers like Bakar, brothers like Iraq, brothers like Tapasar out there blazing on them street corners. You get what I'm saying? And so that's why that camp day, man, that day gonna go down for me. We're gonna look back on that day, man. May 22nd. We're gonna look back on that day, man, and we're gonna have a drink, and we're gonna celebrate because of days like that. You understand? We're going to have so many brothers and sisters in here, we're not even going to be able to fit them all in here. You understand? So, Brakatha Yahweh Yahweh shot for that. You understand? Bakar, shoot it.
Oh, so like I was just going to say, speaking to about the so-called white man, how, we pretty much, once we, so I forgot what
that one on me.
Because
I went to the left real quick, but I had to do that, man, because the thing about it is, brothers in this school, because of the humility, do not like a lot of praise, do not like credit or none of that stuff. You know what I mean? And you know, that's just us being humble, because at the end of the day, you know, think about who you was in the world. Do you think that you in the world could do the shit that you doing in this truth? Just keep it real with yourself. I'm one of the laziest niggas you'll ever meet. You understand me? But I follow orders from Captain Gadar. You understand? General Anya Shawamar, who's over the West Coast. You get my point? General Muhammad. Hey, get out there and go get it done. General Hazayan. Go out there and go build Las Vegas, man. Go take ground. You get my point? It's this truth that puts that battery pack in the nigga. You get my point? I'm out here like Chucky without the batteries and shit. You get what I'm saying? Nigga just charged up because of the men above me. It ain't my own do, it's the Lord.
That's right.
I refuse to take credit for anything that's been done out here or anything that's being done out here. I refuse to take credit for it because I know it's not me. I'm not capable of doing these things. You know what I'm saying? And if you want to be real with yourself, you're not capable of being in the truth if it wasn't for the mercy of the Most High and Christ going to bat for you. Because we're going to keep it a buck. You understand? Like Bakar like to say. You understand? And all that right there leads into the rest of this topic. Let's go to 1 Timothy, the 3rd chapter. I don't see any questions on Facebook, no comments or anything like that. Nothing on YouTube, right? I rock. All right, so we're gonna go back into 1 Timothy, the 3rd chapter. If I run out of time and don't get a chance to wrap this up, you understand? We'll address it another day. I refuse to drag this into a 3rd week. All right. Let's start at we read verse 6 last week, but we're gonna read it again, and it's a reason why I want you to read this again. Let's start at 1 Timothy chapter 3, verse 6, please.
This is the book of 1 Timothy, chapter 3 and verse 6.
Shoot it.
Not a novice, lest being lifted up with pride, he fall into the condemnation of the devil.
Why do we start here? I'm going to tell y'all why. The reason why we start here says not a novice, meaning what? You can't be new to this. You get what I'm saying? All these cats that starting these breakoff groups and all that, they watched a couple of our classes, took down a few notes. You understand? Somehow they was able to get a hold of the officer's test. Somehow, you know what I mean? And got those scriptures and said, you know what? I'm ready to be a general now. I'm the man. I'm in charge.
Right.
You get my point? And like the sister said last week, you start smelling yourself. You get my point? And you think you bigger than the truth. You get what I'm saying? And so what ends up happening is you end up leading brothers astray. That's what ends up happening, man. You cannot take this job lightly. You get my point? Listen, man, nobody, and I mean nobody, forces you to come into the school. Nobody forces you to enter into the trooper program.
Right.
Nobody forces you to take that officer's test. Nobody forces you to go from a 50 to a 500 to 1,000, so on and so forth.
That's right.
Nobody forces you to do these things. You understand me? But if you're going to do it, take the job seriously. And understand this job is not for the weak.
Right.
You cannot be a bitch-ass nigga and sit in this seat.
That's right.
Salakia. I don't really know no other way to say it. You cannot be a feminine-ass, weak-ass nigga. You cannot be a liar. You cannot be a nigga that come in here and sit here and give men orders. You can't be in here and go out there and go to camp and blazing on sisters and blazing on them and how they need to clean themselves up. But then you gotta be home before the sun go down because your bitch gonna check the fuck out of you. You cannot be that nigga. That's not allowed in here.
Right.
You understand me? You cannot be that nigga. You get my point? You have to be a man of the Lord, which means you have no fear, which means you gird up thy loins like a man. You get my point? So you can't be a novice. You get my point? There's a reason why you have to go from a young man to a trooper to a 50, 500, 1,000, so on and so forth. You get my point? Because as a novice, you're not ready for the burdens and the responsibilities that come along with being a bishop. You get my point? There's a reason why Commanding General Yohana is Commanding General Yohana.
That's right.
You understand? There's a reason why. Listen, man, I'm not speaking for this brother. Just hear what I'm saying. You don't think that General Muhammad has the wisdom, the knowledge, the understanding, and the backing to go out and start his own break-off Israelite group? You don't think he has the seasoning to do it? You don't think he could do it? You get my point? But you know why he doesn't do it? Why doesn't he do it? You know why? Because he's not a novice.
Right.
He's not full of himself. And you know he's not full of himself because anytime Commander General Yohana is around, what do you hear from General Muhammad? Khan Adawan Khan.
That's right.
That's why you niggas who's so prideful and so big-headed and think that you can't say Khan Adawan Khan because the nigga's younger than you, but he has more rank than you. You know what I'm saying? The type of niggas like you don't last very long.
That's right.
You get my point? Humble yourself. You get what I'm saying? That's why the novice cannot be a bishop or a deacon. You cannot be in charge. Because them demons are still whooping your ass. You understand me? You got to be cut from a certain cloth. You understand? To be up in these ranks.
That's right.
You understand? We want no cowards in our camp.
Right.
You get my point? That's just what it is. Keep reading.
Verse 7.
Uh-huh.
Moreover, he must have a good report of them which are without.
We went into that last week, right? And for time's sake, I'm gonna give it to y'all, right? It says, moreover, he must have a good report of them which are without. I gave the example last week of Kevin Zaryak. He beat the shit out of Kimmon so bad, they gave him a chain with a shield on it.
Right.
It wasn't a Kimmon chain. It wasn't a red, black, and green chain. It was a chain with a shield on it. Why? Because he has a good report of them without. Without what? Anybody remember? Without what? Shalom.
Without the truth?
Without the truth. They don't have the truth. How do you know? Because they still in Kimmon.
Right.
That's why. Because they still say the black woman is God, but then turn around and say the black woman comes from a monkey. Y'all think about that one for a second. The black woman is God, but yet the black woman comes from a monkey. And that's the shit that y'all into, right? Y'all into that shit because they still get high. That's why y'all into it. And you love getting high. You get my point? Keep reading.
Come. Lest he fall into reproach and the snare of the devil.
What is the reproach and the snare of the devil? What is that? Somebody give me some examples. What is the reproach and snare of the devil? Shalom.
Like
this is good. Water. Real good. I'm listening.
I was gonna say, like, one thing could be like that child support, you know what I'm saying, welfare, you know what I'm saying, like having a man get kicked out of the house, like, you know what I'm saying, for that check, and not only that, but also
yes, that's true. All those things could happen, but stick to the topic. The topic we're talking about right now is bishops. You're right. That could happen. That happens when you pick the wrong woman. That's a whole nother class for another day. But you're right. But not in this context, though. You understand what I'm saying, right? So you're right, but that doesn't apply to this right here. All right, shoot it.
It's like one of the reasons why we tell, especially primarily the young men and the troopers and whatnot, not to listen to any of the other camps. And that's why we don't.
There we go. There we go. Now you own it. That's it.
Until you get your foundation season in here, you're gonna listen to something that JUIC says,
right?
And now all of a sudden, you Judas United in Christianity.
That's it.
Just like them.
That's it. That's it. That's more on topic. You're right though.
I hear you.
You get my point? But again, this is why a novice can't have this seat.
Right.
Because you'll get to listen to fake Israelite groups and it'll shake your whole foundation.
Right.
You know why we don't know how many fake Israelite groups there is out there? Because we don't care.
Right.
We're not concerned with them. We listen to the Black Watch.
That's right.
We listen to Ask Ye the Prophets. You understand me? We listen to Let a Hebrew Speak.
Right.
You get my point? We listen to Captain Marquard Blaze. You get my point? We're listening to brothers like we listen to Cross the Line Radio faithfully. Why? Because this is our foundation. This is the truth. And if you really believe that what you're doing is the truth, why the hell would you need to listen to anything or anybody else?
Right.
You get my point? So when it says lest he fall into reproach and to the snare of the devil, you know what the snare of the devil is? Fake Israelite groups.
Right.
You know what the snare of the devil is? You starting your own Israelite group.
Right.
You know what the snare of the devil is? Going back to Christianity.
Right.
You get my point? These are all examples of that snare of the devil. You understand me? Keep reading.
Verse 8. Likewise, must the deacons be grave.
Likewise, what?
Must the deacons be grave.
You understand me? Somebody get the definition of a deacon real quick. Let's get that. You understand? A deacon is, you know what I'm saying, for time's sake, he's a brother that's in charge of his own. You get my point? You know what I'm saying? A bishop is the brother that's over the whole thing. Like a Captain Gadar. I know he don't like this kind of stuff, but I'm using him as an example. Captain Zaryak runs New York. You understand me? But yet, you understand he got brothers that run different parts of New York. But ultimately, it all goes back to Captain Zaryak. You understand? That deacon is a brother who's over his own. You get what I'm saying? And as a deacon, right? While brothers looking for the definition as a deacon, right? You have to be blameless. You have to be the husband of one wife. What is that one wife, Bakar?
Truth.
The truth. for you Christians out there, I know and listen, I'm not even gonna for time's sake, I'm not even going to get too deep into that. But I know sisters hate hearing that the truth about that scripture is when it said a husband of one wife, they hate hearing that one wife means one doctrine.
Right.
They hate it. Not righteous sisters, mind you. I'm not talking about the righteous ones. I'm talking about the nappy-headed, big-headed ones. I'm talking about them. You get what I'm saying? Those are the ones I'm talking about. And what's up? You know, again, I'm not even gonna get to who had the hand up. I rock, shoot it.
Sir. I got the definition for deacon, but do you want me to pull it as a Zondervan?
That's where I want it from.
Oh,
that's where it should be coming from. You get my point? But the thing about it is, a deacon is a brother. You understand? That runs his own. You get what I'm saying? I hate using myself as an example because listen, man. Listen, listen. There's greater men than me. You understand? And what I've been taught in here is how to be humble, how to never get too high-minded. Because I know, you know what I'm saying, that there's brothers above me who have done greater works than me, and I know I still got a long ways to go. So I'll use Officer Abun as an example. He's over many zones. You get my point? He would be an example of a deacon. You get my point? Read the scripture again.
Come.
Verse
Likewise,
8.
Must the deacons be great?
Must be what?
Be great. Not double-tongued.
Not what?
Not double-tongued.
What do you think it means to be double-tongued? Shalom.
Could it mean like basically speaking two doctrines, like serving two masters? Like
that's exactly what it's talking about.
Come.
Listen, how you gonna say you're in the truth, but yet, hey man, that pastor, man, what he dropped, man, what he said was heavy. It don't work. You had a brother under you looking like, hey nigga, what side you on?
Right.
You rock with this blue flag and this red flag, nigga. What's happening? To make it worldly, you know what I mean? But y'all get my point though, because I'll never support gangbanging ever.
Right.
You get my point. All right, you have something?
Can I have a definition?
Please.
Deacon, the Compact Bible Dictionary, the Zondervan Bible Dictionary, page 128. The word deacon basically means a servant.
A what?
A servant.
A servant, right? You can just stop right there. That's enough, right? A servant, meaning what? He is here to serve the men under him. You get my point? You want to know why Officer Bun could never turn his phone off? Because he's a servant. You know why Officer Lahab can never turn his phone off? Because he's a servant. Officer Kazakiat, I can go on and on and on. Y'all get my point. Our job is to be here, you understand, and look out for the men under us. You get what I'm saying? And as a deacon who is a servant who works under the bishop, you get my point? You cannot be double-tongued. You get my point? Keep reading.
Come. Not giving too much wine.
Not giving the what?
Not giving too much wine.
Not being a drunkard, right? Because it doesn't say that you can't have wine. What does it say, Shalomah?
Not giving too much wine.
To much wine. It doesn't say not given to no wine. Right. It means not given. It says not given to what, Shalomah?
Too much wine.
To much wine. That's why I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna sip this fine gentleman Jack.
Right.
That was provided by Officer Rock. You understand? Right. Good. You understand? Let me take a sip right now because you know why? I'm not giving too much wine.
Right.
Get my point? Hold on. Good. You understand? Keep reading.
Not greedy of filthy lucre.
Who does that sound like? What was that just talking? Where did you read that at before? That sounds familiar, right?
Come.
Who did we just read that about? Shalom.
That was verse 3.
Exactly. Meaning what? The bishop and the deacon must be on one accord, right? So the same way that the bishop can't be all about the money, right? The deacon cannot be all about the money.
Right.
You know why? You know why these classes are for free? And all we tell you to do is pay your tithes? And the priest funds are a free will offering?
Right.
You know why? Because we're not after filthy lucre. That's why. You get my point? You can put, you know what I'm saying? If you put $1 in a bucket, we're not gonna look at you like, damn, bitch, that's all you got? Right. You understand? Nigga go sell that goddamn belt you got on. Nigga put some money in that bucket. We don't do that. Go turn tricks for a minute, man. Fill that bucket up. We don't do that. You wanna know why? Because we're not about filthy lucre. We're not going to tell you to go back on the stroll, go back on Vegas Boulevard, or go over on Fremont, or Shalimar, where you be chasing them at? Look like it. My point is, you understand? This is like it. This is my man right here. I just little joke. My point is, we don't tell y'all to go. We don't tell y'all to go over there and go get it and bring it back here. You want to know why? Because we're not about filthy lucre, and we're not the deacons that the church looks up to. We're the deacons that the Most High appointed us to be. And this is why we don't use the term bishop or deacon. Why? Right. Because the Christian church made those words abominable. They made those words sound so soft and weak and effeminate. And we a whole bunch of things in here, but we are not soft, weak, or effeminate.
That's right.
You understand? Keep reading.
Mm-hmm. Verse 9. Holding the mystery of the faith in a pure conscience.
Doing what?
Holding the mystery of the faith in a pure conscience.
What does that mean? That's a heavy one right there. What does that mean? Challenge our brothers. Shalimar.
Does that mean basically, you know what I'm saying, since the truth is such an unknown thing, you know, amongst our people, you know, amongst the world, that means holding it in a pure conscience, like holding it, living it, like holding it in the honorable conscience and living it. Like it's all we're conscious of, is all we know.
You own it, but not quite. Okay. Anybody else want to take a shot? All right.
So first, I just want to ask, dude, are we supposed to replace mystery with the truth, basically? Like, look at it in that context? Because I more so have a question about it.
You can, because that mystery is the truth.
So holding the truth of the faith in a pure conscience, and just the fact that you're not sitting there going through the motions saying, oh man, I just hope I'm right. I hope I'm doing this, you know, for the right reason and whatnot. Like, you doing it because you deep in your conscience, like, you sincerely about this truth.
Yeah.
About the mysteries of
right.
the faith.
You own it, and you're right to an extent. I'm gonna give it to y'all for time's sake, right? Well, Bakar, you wanna take a shot?
Right, I was gonna just say, basically saying, like, you don't just talk about it, you be about it. When it says holding the mystery of the faith in a pure conscience, like, you proving that the Christian church is a lie, like, you know what I'm saying?
Very true.
You proving that what people don't understand, like what we do, the way we dress, the way we talk, everything about the truth. You proving that it's the truth, that the truth is what we represent, and we're a representative of the Most High, like we're supposed to be.
That's true. And that last part you said, representative of the Most High, is the heaviest part. And here I'm gonna give it to y'all for time's sake, right? It's believing in the Most High and believing in this truth that the Most High, you understand, is the Most High, and there's no other gods with him, before him, on the side of him, or none of that. Right. And also believing that Christ is a black man from the tribe of Judah, and what he did was he died for so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, right? The other thing is having that faith, right, without being able to see the Most High or Christ.
Right.
How many of y'all have seen the Most High since y'all been in the truth? How many of y'all? How many of y'all seen Christ since y'all been in the truth? How many? You get my point? None of us have, at least not yet. Lord allow, we allowed to see him in these bodies. Lord allow. You get my point? But when it says holding the mystery of the faith in pure conscience, meaning I don't see the Most High, I don't see Christ, but despite me not being able to see him, this is my everything.
Right.
I'm gonna live and die by everything that's in this goddamn book. You understand me? That right there is the faith. I don't even fuck what y'all talking about.
Right.
I hear you, but I'm gonna stand on this right here. You get my point? Christianity is the wide gate. The faith in the Most High in Christ. This is the straight gate. You get my point? The reason why you know this is the truth, because everybody can't get in here.
Right.
Everybody can't put the weed down.
Right.
Every sister cannot get off the stripper pole. You get my point? Every nigga cannot stop loving so-called white women. You get my point? These are the things. But us, you understand? We're the select of the select. You get my point? And like I was saying last week, the reason why we should walk around with that aura, the reason why our sisters should walk around with that aura is because we're able to separate ourselves from the world. You understand? Listen. And I'm not doing this to you know what I'm saying, make fun of sisters that got a little extra few pounds on them. I'm not here to do that at all. You know what I'm saying? Because I love my sisters. But I was walking to the trash can the other day, and this sister had on some shorts that were so small that they, you know what I'm saying, that I don't even see how she was able to breathe in them hoes. You get my point? And what's worse than that is her shirt was smaller than her shorts. I'm talking about gut way out here. You can see the cellulite all through her leg. Now, I'm not trying to shoot on this sister. You get my point? What I'm saying is our sisters in 2020 going to have no shame whatsoever. You understand? They look at this sister right here because she got on a long dress and she got her head covered. Something's wrong with her.
Right.
No, bitch, something's wrong with you.
Right.
Because you think it's okay to go out in the streets with a fucking bonnet on.
Right.
You understand me? You think that that's cool because some celebrity said it was cute. So you think it's cute. Some celebrity said it's okay because it's summertime to walk around in a goddamn bathing suit on. You think it's okay, you understand, to walk around in a goddamn bathing suit on.
Right.
With stretch marks that go from your goddamn waist all the way up to your neck. You think that shit is cool.
Right.
You understand? Where's your dignity at? Where's your pride? Where's your self-respect at? You understand me? This is why we're here. This is why the bishops and the deacons are here. To tell you, sister, have some shame. Cover yourself up. You get my point? Because the thing about it is, why the hell would a man want you when everybody can already see you? There's no mystery there. You done took away the mystery. I know what it looked like already because your goddamn clothes are see-through. I can see it. And I can see the green fumes coming from that motherfucker. I'm good. You get my point? Pass. You understand me? No, thank you. You get what I'm saying? Nah, man. Have some dignity about yourself. Have some class. You get what I'm saying? And if you want to be a bishop or deacon in this truth, in the one and only truth, you're going to be in this school. Listen, man, you have to carry and conduct yourself like a priest and prophet of the Lord.
That's right. You
understand? There's no deviating from the script. You understand me? This is the blueprint right here. No more, no less. This and this.
That's right.
You get my point? For those that got the 1611, the whole thing is in there. You understand me? But the bottom line is, to be a bishop, or to be a deacon, I'm going to have to wrap this up for time's sake. You know what I mean? And maybe I'll do this as a pre-topic later on. You know what I'm saying? I'm not sure. But this class is heavy as hell, man. Just take the scriptures that we've gone over to this point. And if you're an officer in this school, meditate on these scriptures, man. Go back and read this shit for yourself. You get my point? And if you have any questions about any of these scriptures, man, bring them to class. You get my point? But the thing about it is, this job is not for the weak. I said all these things in this class. We read all these scriptures in this class. You understand? And to sum it all up, we sum it up like this. You cannot be a whole ass nigga and be in this school.
Right.
Think about it, man. You look at Peter and Paul and James. There wasn't no weak ass niggas, man. You gotta think about it. When Christ was talking to the multitude, and when he I'm paraphrasing, when he said you gotta eat my body, them niggas left. Cause they like, well, we gotta cut you up and eat you? What the hell is wrong with you? And only a few men stayed. You wanna know why? Because only a few men were built for it. Only a few men understood that he didn't mean literally, he meant figuratively. Meaning that you have to take on the spirit of Christ. And to be in here, you have to take on the spirit of Christ. A head wrap and a long dress is not taking on the spirit of Christ.
Right.
It's more to it than that.
That's right.
Knowing the salute, you understand? It's more to it than that.
That's right.
You get my point? Being at the whole shamar at doing camp, it's more to it than that.
Right.
You get my point? This job is not for the weak. You understand me? We want no cowards in our camp, You understand? Straight like that. You know what I mean? If you want to be a bishop or a deacon, you want to be in these ranks, you understand? Read 1 Timothy, the 3rd chapter. You understand? And with that, pass the class to priest and officer, I rock.
This is the ISUPK security announcements. We are the ISUPK started out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Rule for new brother and sister. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They're here to be they are to be saluted only. They're here to shed themselves of the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it.
Hold on real quick. How many of y'all ever heard that in the Christian church before? They're here to shed themselves of the world. There's a 6-month rule in this school for a reason.
Right.
You understand me? Brothers, listen. You gotta put that thing on ice as well. You know what I'm saying? I know it's females in all different shapes, sizes, and colors. You understand? But when you first come into this truth, you understand? Don't let the first thing you learn be, oh, I can have more than one woman. Oh, that's what's up. And you out here just, don't be that brother. You know what I'm saying? Get some counsel, you understand, before you seek to take on another woman. You get my point? If you're a sister and you come into the school, you don't know what it's like to be with a real man, to be with a masculine man, get counsel first. Right. Put that thing on ice for a little bit. It's okay. Because if you come in here and you become a new woman, you understand, like Commander General Yohana said, you are a brand new woman. You're a virgin who no one has ever had. That's so right. Guess what? When you do get you a husband, when you do get that man, you understand the Most High sent you, you understand, it's going to be like your first time all over again. Ooh-wee. It's a lot. Keep reading if I get in trouble.
Oh, God. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak.
He must do what?
He must get he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister.
Right.
There is another 6 months in which the brother and sister will court each other.
Mm-hmm.
After this 6-month period, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry.
Mm-hmm.
Tithes, which is a commandment, which can be found in the book of Numbers, chapter 18, verse 21, and the book of Malachi, chapter 3, verses 8 through 10.
Mm-hmm.
Ma'asharah, which means tenth in the Hebrew.
Mm-hmm.
10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you. Give to the treasury department or teacher. Priest fund, free will offering for priests. It's not mandatory.
It's not what?
It's not mandatory, and it's also whatsoever amount you would like.
We're not the Christian church. Keep reading. Also, we have the Feast of First Fruits that will begin at June 21st at sundown. Mm-hmm.
If there's anyone that is interested at getting down with their local camp, to speak to your respective camp leader.
Right.
If anyone wants to become a trooper in the school, to start wearing all black, boots, shirt, pants, headband, and a scarf. And with that, May Israel Majah, we're going to give one gracious salute to the teacher. May Israel Majah Shabbat, Majah, Barak, Yahweh Yahweh Shabbat. All right, man. Israel Sar. We're going to give one gracious salute to the sister, Majah, which means to stand. So put your heels together in a 45 degree. Right hand over left. Bow your head. All right. Man, Israel. Majah Shabbat. Majah. Barak. Yahweh Shamar. And the Baba by Shim Yahushua. Sorry. You got it? With that, class dismissed.